Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
1, 2.
1, 2.
Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine
Thank you
forever.
for joining me for the special part 1 of the Bob Sullivan Show 4th birthday party here on latenightsportsradio.com. Thank you. There's been a lot of drunk moments, a lot of insane moments, a lot of incoherent moments. And, you know, cheers to a new year. On to year number 4. I have some interviews that will probably spill into a second show. But I am joined here by one of my most loyal, one of my most loyal guests and, buddy that I have not met, but we will be meeting here in Chicago at some point. Johnny Maloris, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic. And let me tell you something. Your light will shine forever, okay? Don't let that be a prelude to I want Keith, making you think that your time is up at any point here, man. You're going to be around for a while.
Yeah,
Star will shine forever? I don't know. I'm not a rapper. I don't know those words.
I don't know if it'll shine forever, but it will shine and shine bright for a few years. And,
Brightish.
My greatness is not recognized by many or probably by any. But
I recognize it.
Yeah. There's some people that recognize it, and those people are appreciated. So, yes. John, this is 4 years. I think you've been on for about 3.5 or so.
Mm-hmm.
What's the pinnacle of being on the Bob Sullivan Show?
Well, there's a few things. I mean, at least, when it comes to mind, the very first thing that I am instantly reminded of the Bob Sullivan Show is the very first time that I scheduled a date with you to be on the radio. We're gonna wine and dine each other, and you didn't call. And I'm calling you and trying to figure out what's going on. I was like, all right, I guess this show wasn't happening. And meanwhile, the entire time I have everything set up. I have my office all ready to go, all my papers lined up. I don't know what you're going to hit me with. You're ready to rag on the Cubs at the time because they deserved it at that moment. But, so we go through all of that. I have everything lined up. I have this other guy in the meantime who is filming a mini documentary for one of his courses for college on me doing what I do, which is the radio thing and all that other business. And here we are sitting around in a room waiting for a phone call. I'm texting, I'm calling. It apparently didn't happen. And I do believe there was a legitimate reason for you not making that show and breaking that first ice between each other. But man, that was funny as hell. And at the moment, I didn't know what the hell to think. And honestly, Bob, I love it now because now I know exactly what to think. You are a fantastic guy. Occasionally, something like that is going to happen, but God bless you, bro. I mean, your shows are hilarious, and I love being on your show. I love you having on my show, or our show, I should say. And you kick ass, man. I'm glad you're still around 4 years later.
Yeah, it is your show. Let's make that clear.
It's only because my name is first, but it's only because it's a play on the Bravo thing. Because very seldomly, Bob, do I call you Bobo. But with my goofy hair and everything, everyone's like, "Oh, Johnny Bravo, Johnny Bravo." I get that all the damn time. And whether it's a wise ass at the tavern, or somebody that's being legitimate, like, "Oh, hey man, you look like Johnny Bravo," ha ha ha. And I find all the comparison. Anytime anybody tells me they think I look like somebody, I think it's hilarious. At least in terms of my hair, but that's the whole point of the Johnny Bravo show. Is Johnny Bravo, Johnny Bravo. Because you're my guy, Bob, and I love Bobo, man. I love having you on the show. It's a lot better than the John Maloris and Bob Sullivan Show, I think.
Yeah. Well, plus you couldn't include the Bob Sullivan Show name in your title because it would be a conflict of
Yeah.
trademark rights.
Well, yeah, because we don't know what network you're going to be on tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm not leaving. Yeah, I'm not leaving for anything.
Oh, you can't leave, Keith. You kidding me?
No, Keith, bringing me in and welcoming me back. Yeah, I made a mistake earlier this year. Leaving.
We all got those.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. But, John, we, our first couple times, I think my favorite was when I actually first did have you on the show. I introduced you. We have the pre-show conversation that I always have with people, that I like to have with people, because I figure, okay, well, if we're going to have a personal conversation, it'll make for a better... If we know each other a little bit before we go on air, we have a little bit of chemistry. Yeah. But I introduced myself, and then I asked you, okay, how do you pronounce your name, which I do with a lot of my guests. Yeah. And you said Malloris. And I said, okay, so it's not Malioris. Right. And then I introduced you as Malioris. And you didn't correct me on air, but you should have. That was that was one of my finer moments.
I'm not gonna do that to you. You know what I mean? But that's a tricky thing, man. Like, at least you didn't make my name sound like a venereal disease, because a lot of times when people pronounce my last name, I sound like an STD or something like that. I don't appreciate that, but I don't know, man. I mean, between that, even that, just all the moments that we've had between. Probably one of the funniest things has got to be the whole Brian Windhorst fuck up on my behalf. That was probably one of the funniest things I think ever happened. I was so afraid you'd be incredibly pissed off, and I'm sure you were. But man, I just kind of walked you right into that one, and you believing me. I hoped not to have lost any trust through that one foobarb that I made, but no, that was pretty funny, man.
That did happen.
And who was the other guy? It wasn't Windhorst.
It was Jason Whitlock. It was Jason Whitlock and Brian Windhorst.
Yeah, so, that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, you confused a fat white guy with a fat black guy. I mean, it's pretty much like the same thing.
But you went off, dude. You went off so hard.
And well, I teed off. I teed off on him.
You apologized, and then you didn't. It was funny.
Well, yeah, I had that apology, and I was like, well, then my second apology was just a completely half-assed apology. But when you set me up for that, like, I like Brian Windhorst, but I mean, if he were to say what Jason Whitlock said, he would have completely deserved everything I said in that situation. So I think Brian Windhorst
totally earned it.
But there's also the factor of, okay, well, obviously are you still harboring some of those feelings?
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. And like, on top of that, the one time that you had the most sincere apology, and God bless Keith Grieve for queuing up the apologetic, like, what was it? Was that Brian's song, right? Didn't
he play the Incredible Hulk?
That's what it was. The walk away. Yes. Oh, that was great. Your apology to Cody, because, like, honestly, and that's the funniest thing, is you and your relationship, like, our relationship is hilarious. And then, like, everything else, every show I've listened to of yours, somehow you're able to connect with everybody, and your shows are great. But the connection between you and Cody, it always makes me pee my pants, man. It's almost guaranteed. I love having it at the end of the show, right before you get to go off on your rant. And like you apologizing to Cody because you legitimately felt bad, and like you do, you're ragging on the bands that come on there. You've been so good about it lately because we've had better artists on. But like when you're pissed off, you don't like a band, like you're straight up. You're gonna tell somebody, like, hey man, this band sucks, this and that. And it so happened to be, somebody really tight to Cody, and Cody got butthurt a little bit. And your reaction to that was just hilarious. You legitimately felt bad. Like all the other times, you couldn't have cared less. But for this one particular instant, like you actually felt bad. You're like, all right, dude, here it is. Because like
that's his family. I mean, you don't.
Yeah.
I understand why that song did suck. However.
Yeah. Yes. There it is.
With Cody. Yeah, with Cody, I felt like I had to apologize because I did I went off more than usual. And then, but I didn't realize, like, at the time that I knew his brother was in the band. I didn't know and what I was criticizing the most was the singer, and I didn't realize that was his brother.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that happened. You know, one thing I've realized over the years is, you know, I guess with athletes, you know, athletes don't really have much to say for the most part, unless they're, you know, for the most part they don't have much to say unless they're bitter.
Yeah, but I mean, some have some stuff to say. I mean, like for instance, what we had Homer Bush on. Homer Bush had things to say. I thought John Lieber, another former athlete, and that's a guy where he's not promoting anything. You know what I mean? Like, so we had Homer Bush. He's doing a book and trying to be something outside of being a professional ball player. Same thing with Brett Myers. That interview went incredibly well. I thought that was going to go horribly. I was really sketched out about that interview. That went really well. But he was promoting his music. But like a guy like John Lieber, he's got nothing, you know, that he's promoting. He's just coming on the show. He's probably one of our best guests. You know what I mean? Where he's one of those ball players where you think they have nothing to say, even though they're not really doing a whole ton. You know what I mean? And somehow he had, every time he comes on, I mean, the guy gives us thoughts. I enjoy the hell out of that.
Yeah, I'm, you know, with Lieber, he's kind of I think he's kind of like us, you know, other than the fact that
totally.
he's a professional athlete. I think Brett Myers is sort of the same way, where he's just kind of, well, he's kind of like me, where it's like, okay, just leave me the hell alone for the most part. Like, let me do my thing, leave me the hell alone, and that's it. I feel like Myers is that way. And I knew it was confusing to me that he was willing to do your show or our show, but
it was very difficult to make friends. Like when I went to the college I went to, I was all by myself. You know, I didn't know anybody that went up to the same school. I was up there, brand new guy, at least in terms of.
John? Keith, is John still here?
He's technically there. Looks like his Skype did his usual Maloris thing.
Well, Keith.
It wouldn't be one of these shows without some kind of, you know, glitch.
No, usually it's me. Yeah. And you know, I'm cool. I mean that, you know, usually it's me, my Skype goes out or my phone goes out or I get too drunk and hit the wrong button. And that's what happens, but I don't know. Yeah.
We haven't dropped him yet, so I'm thinking maybe his mute button got hit on by accident.
He's been hitting on mute buttons. Well, Keith, let's talk a little bit here before John comes back. You, what was it, last September, brought me in.
Yeah, September 14.
And I made the mistake of leaving for a network that I wound up having to run all by myself into the ground. And then I came back. How difficult was a decision was it for you to welcome me back?
Morris is back. Look, we were just having
what the hell?
You just jumped back in on a serious conversation.
Yeah, we were having a serious conversation, John.
I don't know what happened right there, but yeah, no, man, I'm totally lost. I was rambling on there, and I didn't even realize you guys were gone.
Yeah.
So your serious conversation, continue. As if I didn't interrupt.
Bob just asked me if it was a hard decision to welcome him back, and it wasn't, because this show is so much fun to do. I was sad to see it go, obviously, but everyone does what they do for various reasons. I didn't take it personal or anything like that. I think that's the worst thing you can do. But the opportunity was there to come back and get the band back together, and it wasn't a hard decision at all. So by all means, stop with this Sap Fest and go on talking with you and John here.
Yeah, no, but I mean that's great. I mean that was the whole thing, man. I was so happy when you came back, Bob, and I was sad to see you go. You know what I mean? For that half second that it all went down.
It was literally like a month that it happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about it, man, I mean, I've been had as well in terms of, somebody has a project or a network or something they're promoting, and, they feel like they can offer you something. You know what I mean? Like, you can finally make some money off this and yada, yada. And, every once in a while you can take it, but, when you look at it, you come back to where you had fun. You know what I mean? Not necessarily your last stop, but where did I have fun? Because I can go back there. You know what I mean? Because your show is going to be good regardless.
I've had... I've been offered a lot of dry rubs over the years. That's the last time that I let a dry rub get the best of me, and I want to continue on with the fully lubricated rubs.
And I mean, I feel like Keith gives us that opportunity. At least, like I said, with all the different people we get to bring on the show. How hard he works, obviously, but. I mean, we worked pretty good. You know what I mean? I mean, we had that Brian Windhorst thing, and kind of thinking again, you had your Cody apology, and the one thing that probably rubbed me the wrong way ever. We had the one time where you didn't call me. Not a problem. Okay, totally over that. The one time that I was ever remotely pissed off with you during our show was when you had. The female peanut gallery. Do you remember that episode?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god, that was so funny because I was like semi pissed for a minute because like you were pissed drunk and all these girls are talking in the background and getting in on the conversation. And I'm trying to be cool with them because they all seem like very cool girls. Obviously, they're gonna be hanging around while you're doing a sports podcast. They got to be relatively cool. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so like. I'm keeping all of that in mind, but for the moment, I was like, man, I was so pissed, and like they like popped up like throughout like other shows, and everything went cool. And there was a few times where you told them to shut up, and it was funny as hell, and I enjoyed the hell out of that. But no, that's great, and I'm always gonna go back to the time you defended me. Holy hell, dude! I will have your back forever because of that one moment where you stood up for me. When we were doing the show and I got called out for not being prepared enough. And if anybody understands, I'm prepared as hell. I'm prepared for this Bob Sullivan 4-year anniversary show. I have notes on things, that remind me of you or shows that we've had, you know what I mean? Or things like that. Like I am constantly prepared, and for you to back me up. And I don't even think you've ever seen my notes. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, you know I'm ready.
Well, I have an idea of what the notes are like when I get a 10-page email about...
Dude, you see my moleskins. I write incredibly small.
Like, you write, like, those emails that me and Keith get for your show, where it's like, okay... I just
over the top.
Like, yeah, it's over the top, and I'm just like, okay, do we have a guest in hour one, or... Do we have one or two guests in hour one? Okay, do I need to kind of think of something to go off on? How much alcohol do I need? And that's about it. And, see that, I think we talked about this on the Johnny Bobo show, but it seems to be brought
your audience is always changing. Remember that. Your audience is always changing.
Well, when we did it's always a disaster because I'm drinking throughout the whole first hour. Then I sit out that first segment of hour number 2, and then it's just all bubbling up, and I keep drinking and drinking. And it's like you're basically playing Russian roulette with what you're going to get from me in that last, 30 minutes.
And that's what makes the show. That is the one thing that, like, you keep people listening for the entirety of the show simply because you don't know what you're – I'm going to come in. Guest 1, guest 2, that's great. I'm going to get my fantasy, questions in, come that third segment. But, man, by the end of it, you know what I mean? You're at least hanging around to hear your fantasy question. But if you're not, good golly, by the end of the show, you need to hear what Bob, has left to say. Like, what's left in the Bob gas tank.
It's funny. I used to do, like before I came on LateNightSportsRadio.com, I used to do, I don't know, just as many shows as I could get out per week, which, I don't know, there'd be, 30, 40-minute shows or whatever, and I just, whenever I could. I don't think people realize how much damage I did to my liver in, like, the first 2+ years of this show, because, one, I was always, and two, it was like 6 days a week I was drinking, plus now
Bob, let me tell you this: if your voice had a name, it'd be called Adele. You know what I mean? Your voice is your liver is straight up crying, okay, for help here. I mean, and that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, you think about it, what are you gonna do when you go to Adele's show? Do people actually? I mean, you go to Adele's show, all you're doing is probably what, texting your exes and crying. You know what I mean? And I would imagine that's pretty much what your liver is doing at all times. Is trying to text somebody, help me. She's drawing a black dot on her hand. Like your liver, she's a sad person.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some meetings here at some point, but not yet.
That's okay. No, you're good.
But
maintain it.
Now I'm down to 3 days a week. I got my show, I got your show, and then I got the box seats with me and Alex. And I don't really get tankered for that.
That show rocks, by the way.
Well, Alex told me, hey, I want a business buzz. Yeah, if you're going to drink, business buzz. And I was like, okay, I get that. So a business buzz is what I do for that show. But
what the hell is that, business buzz? What's a business buzz?
It's like when you go out for like 1 or 2 cocktails after work.
Okay.
Like when you roll up the sleeves and you just sit there at the bar, sip one down, hour. And then happy hour drinks. All right, John. Well, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break.
Do it.
When we come back, we'll get into your best ofs, your worst ofs. I mean, we kind of got into that, but we need to get into that.
We'll never stop.
Yeah. So we'll be right back here with the Bob Sullivan Show 4-year birthday with Johnny Maloris. We'll be ready for some interviews with Adam Cousins in hour number 2, who is of Saturday Night Live, an update, writer for that, Funny or Die, and very funny comedian. Right.
Love that stuff.
Second to keep breathing in a moment before it's gone. You never know when love is lost until you find just what it costs to be wrong. I wonder if you think of me passing by, you think you see me coming. I wonder if you pull me in, kiss me just one time again. Coming and the nights will keep on going till they're tired, falling fast asleep and as they dream of ghosts of beats filled with desire. The trance of life is all around, a chance to take is always found. Writing on the lullabies, I'm alone and living life. Do you remember? Lost or found, love lying by your side. In the final hours
Baby, you're a mystery. Tell me what's a girl gotta do? Looking at the history doesn't seem to give any clue. Just when I think I understand it all, you seem to unravel some more. Ooh, la, la, ooh, I never know nobody like you. Ooh, la, la, ooh, now I know you're not an enigma. Ooh, la, la, oh. Yeah, you keep me guessing, I'm confessing now, well, baby, it's true. I never know nobody like you. Baby, you're an enigma. Baby, you're a riddle, I'm caught up in the middle of you. I'm trying to think bigger, but I can't seem to figure it through. I wanna make it better, but now I'm scared of looking a fool. Oh, baby, no, I've never been very good at playing it cool. Just when I think I understand it all, I find I know nothing at all. Ooh, I never know nobody like you. Ooh, now I know you're an enigma. Ooh, yeah, you keep me guessing, I'm confessing now, baby, it's true. I never know nobody like you. Baby, you're an enigma. Baby, you're an enigma.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Welcome to the Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com. It is birthday number 4 for the show. The show started 4 years ago. That's why it's the fourth birthday. John, you need, Keith, actually, this could include you too on this conversation. We need to do ghost stories with John Maloris on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
Oh my
You
God.
should replace story on late night or coast to coast AM or whatever that thing's called.
Dude, you have no idea, man. We actually had Chris Fleming on an episode because we were talking about dry rubs. I was hooked up with this company called. I was talking about this company, Chicago TV Online, and I was fortunate enough to run into the opportunity where I was a host of the Miss International Top Female Model of the World 2014 competition. Whoever won that won a fully paid, all expenses paid trip to Brazil for the final competition. That was a legitimate thing, but the woman that was running that and gave me the opportunity to host that show was apparently in the works with some other internet television company called Chicago TV Online. And so they basically got us to film several pilot episodes for a number of different television shows, for which we came up with the talent, the production, the concept of the show, pre-production, post-production, during production, and all of these other wonderful things that involve work into going into producing something like that. And didn't see a damn dime through any of this. But one of the shows we did was a show called Strangely Educational. And you can actually find part of the clip on the Johnny Babo Show page on Facebook. But we did essentially the trailer for Ghostbusters 3. And we actually that's actually really funny, incredibly well produced by my buddy Albert Asani. It's straight up looks like I guess out of Ghostbusters, okay? But one of the things that we would do is we would go into a job not knowing anything about it and just go about doing the job. For instance, first episode, we went to a tattoo shop. We did a tattoo thing. But, getting into your ghost stories thing here, we did a ghost hunting expedition at the coffee shop, at Ashbury Coffee Shop, Willow Springs, right on Archer Avenue, Resurrection Mary, all that fun stuff. And so we did an overnight here, and we filmed the whole overnight, and everything was we had like different like things laid out in terms of different ways to interact with the spirits and this and that. 'Cause I have plenty of crazy stories, which is why we're here, talking about this. But no, you can check that out. It's called Strangely Educational. You can YouTube it. You can find it on the Johnny Babo Show page. We did it overnight here, man. I'm telling you, that was some of the weirdest stuff. But I got plenty of stories about this coffee shop. I never believed in ghosts, honestly, Bob. Up until I started working here, and then I realized that there's definitely something that's not just us doing things. I don't know. I feel like a crazy person anytime I talk about it.
Okay,
you know what I mean? But it's real.
This might send off a little bit of my audience, but I don't really care. Might not only send off a little bit of my audience, but it's also probably going to send me to hell.
That's fine.
Me and some friends in college took a Ouija board out to a nun's graveyard.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to talk about two opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, God and the devil.
Yeah.
Devil and spirits. The Ouija board moved and whatnot, the glass thing, the eye. However, it was windy as hell that night. I mean, I believe in, that there's other beings out there. I believe in that crap, but I believe that there's some sort of spirits around us. But there's also a lot of people on drugs.
Yeah.
That lead to that stuff. I mean, I don't know.
That's actually what makes me believe. Okay, is the simple fact that man, we talked to Chris Fleming. Okay, the guy was on Kids Psychics on a million different shows. He's in that one episode of Strange Educational. And he's a medium, and anybody that believes in anything spiritual is always going to sound crazy. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to like anything outside, like paranormal or any of those kind of things. But like a lot of the stuff he was saying sure makes sense. You know what I mean? And I'm fully aboard with that. But even then, after having experienced the things that I have at the coffee house here, like, I'm still looking at him like, yeah, really? You know what I mean? But still, the stuff that have happened, the stories I have from this place, whether it's me seeing something that's like either a full-on apparition where there's no explanation for the disappearance, or a bag of cups getting slammed against the wall in a closet when there's nobody near it. It's not like it fell off a shelf or something like that. And the other crazy thing too is this coffee shop. Not only have I been around it since 2011. When I first came back here, after going away to college, this and that, came back and I started working here, and that's when I finally, from 2000 essentially in 12, okay, forward, I mean, it's become apparent to me. But I mean, I'm thinking, I'm 24, 25, 26 at that point, you know what I mean? And prior to, I never believed that, but after I'm telling stories to my sister about things that I experienced at the same coffee shop that her best friend's brother and wife owned and started. We shared similar stories, man, in terms of the same, incidences, you know what I mean, where we had the same experience, or, whether it's an annoying little sound where it's something like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe that could be air pressure, this or that, to, like, straight up having seen specific things happen. Dude, I'm telling you, it's strange, but you believe it when you see it. I'll tell you.
The thing that freaks me out the most is mirrors.
Yeah, mirrors are
because
crazy.
when I see myself in the mirror, I want to scream. But when, like, I dare you, just go to a building that has a lot of mirrors. I know it's going to be tough, but turn off the lights and just try not to, like, mirrors play tricks on you.
See, and that's the thing too, man. A lot of it I think is like, people always, there's ways to explain all sorts of things that happen. Occasionally there's times where there's not. Whether it's a random occurrence or I don't know. Like again, a lot of people are always going to turn to eye tricks. You know what I mean? Nobody believes in orbs. You know what I mean? Because orbs are, whether it's a dust molecule. Pictures are tough to prove things. But when you physically see something happen that's unexplainable, that's when it gets to you. And that's the thing with mirrors, man. Mirrors, you know what I mean? You're whether you're anticipating something happening, your minds can play tricks on you, but so can your eyes, where your peripheral visions with mirrors, and all sorts of things. I can see where that can kind of be like, yeah, okay. But man, the things I had happen to me here that's different.
I've had a lot of random guests of, from, whatever it may be. I've just had random guests on my show to talk about whatever they do, and it's not even sports or it's nothing interesting.
Yeah.
But
it's always interesting.
I've had, what?
I said it's always interesting. Anytime anybody's on your show, it's interesting.
Keith, I feel like you said something there.
No, not me.
You didn't say anything? Okay. But, yeah, I need
it's
to
a ghost.
I've had somebody who studies, does, astrology readings where he does, okay, well, the stars are lined up like this, so this means you're going to have a good month in July. The stars are lined up like this, you're going to have a shitty month in August.
Yeah.
And so,
there's a lot more.
I had this guy, I had this guy on my show, and he predicted, I guess it's not really something where you could be like, oh, well, that's going to happen. But he predicted the downfall of Sarah Palin on my show. This was a couple years ago.
You predicted the downfall of what?
Sarah Palin.
Oh.
Which, I
could have predicted that.
At the time, she was big time. At the time, she was big time. And, obviously...
Sarah Palin. That was always going to blow up.
Yeah, but... So he predicted, around the time she was going to blow up and stuff like that. And so, we did a bunch of readings. He did a reading for me. But I got to have a guy like that back on. I also want to have like kind of a medium on. I want to do a bunch of different shows. You know, like
Dude, I got people. Man. You want to talk about stuff? I know, guys.
you live in Chicago,
Especially when it
you
comes to
live-
that.
You know what I've gotten away from, like how we met was because I just emailed you over LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and that's what I've gotten away from. Is well now I just use Twitter and find a bunch of guests, but I need to go back the LinkedIn route, find a bunch of people that because that's a good way, a good route.
Oh, it is. No, LinkedIn's very good for that. You know what I mean? I've gotten a lot of random shows in the meanwhile, just specifically because of LinkedIn. You know what I mean? But in terms of like a medium, we have another guy that's a tarot card reader here, and it's strange for me because like that's something I never really knew much about. My parents were always I don't know, we were Catholic. You know what I mean? But there wasn't much spoken about it, at least in terms of like zodiac signs, and the time you're born and what moon you're born under, and all these other different things. And I'm big into philosophy and a variety of other different things. I'm a philosophy major, but it's when I don't know, man. I just definitely feel like there's something outside. I mean, you can put in like as much as you want into like your horoscope reading. Okay, a lot of that I feel is just like self-motivational kind of stuff. So it does have some kind of effect on you. But one of the things my girlfriend always brings me back to, like we actually had a woman that is a medium that went through and reviewed things, and she was spot on, and I was skeptical, so I didn't like give her very much to work with. Kind of very short answers, at least in my regard. And somehow, man, she seemed to hit like a bunch of different nerves that were like actually specific. You know what I mean? That kind of made me think one thing or another. But the one thing my girlfriend reminded me of, because like she went and told me that the medium was like, okay, hey, this is going to be not this year, the current year that I spoke to her with, but the following year was going to be the year that everything hit, right? And so yeah, maybe it has. I mean, obviously we're into the next year now, so I mean it's yet to be true. But I was talking to her, I was like, man, I don't know, like if I buy into all of that. And she's like, the difference, I guess, is the fact that, you still make your own decisions. I mean, you're the one that determines your path. Like, if you follow along the path, like whatever path specifically she had seen at that moment, okay, then yeah, then you'll wind up, you'll hit your big year, this and that, yada yada. But
that shit'll mess. That shit'll mess with you though. Like,
oh yeah,
if
but,
I
but
was
it does put things in perspective, which I do like.
Medium, if I was a psychic or whatever, I would probably mess with people. Like, and really,
that's because you're a dick. But that's fine.
But I would be like, I would tell them just. I mean, actually, one thing I do want to do is this girl I'm currently seeing. If she ever wants to go see a medium or psychic, whatever you want to call it, pay the psychic to tell her things that, not that she necessarily wants to do, but things that make me look good.
I would actually like to be on board with that. To like actually film it. Go ahead.
You know that if she's a legit psychic, she won't do that, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's the fun part about it though, Keith.
Okay.
Like to find out what the breaking point is.
Everybody has a price, though. Everybody has a price. Everybody's available.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that those psychics who charge like $175 aren't working at the local call-in center for Marriott or something like that. Like, they make decent wages at Marriott, taking phone calls and reservations. But when they charge $175 a pop, they're probably only getting like 20 readings a year.
But I mean, here's the thing too. I mean, this is the other thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about the whole like medium psychic, like what makes me skeptical about all that is a lot of the people that don't really have like incredibly successful like things happening where like they're, yeah, sure, dude, I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, I got this, I got that, I'm on it, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen to you. Yet somehow, like, you're still working, at fucking Walmart somehow or something. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you couldn't help yourself out? Like, you can't, how can you not channel all that and somehow find a way to help yourself?
Are there still Are there still psychics on like public access? And do public access shows still exist?
I'm going to turn to Keith for that one. I have zero answers for you in that department.
Not like they used to be in the 90s.
Like,
Yeah. You got to hit the right gullible amount of suckers. There's a lot of fakes in there. That's what makes it like a trend. There's a bunch of fakers.
There was a huge public access show around here called Life Without Shame, where they went to like strip clubs at night and like introduced and like interviewed dancers and stuff like that.
Dude, how's that show not still on?
I don't get it, but yeah, it was big for like 3-4 years, and then it went away because there was all kinds of like all the puritanical bastards in society got after him.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm telling you, man, the whole paranormal thing, it's a really weird topic for a lot of people. And unless you have like a first-hand experience, there's really no way for you to go out there. I mean, like, even with the stuff that I've seen, like, I'm still trying to find ways to explain it and like, oh yeah, no, it was just this, and write it off. But like, man, sometimes there's just something that happens and there's just no damn explanation outside of like a mini earthquake underneath a certain item that sent a shockwave through something. You know what I mean? Like, it's the most like obscure and strange explanation that you come up with, and you're like, fuck, dude, there's no way you can explain this. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I'm swearing more than you tonight. What's up with that?
I don't know. But, I mean, this fourth birthday party doesn't really feel like a 4-year-old birthday party. It feels more like a 50-year-old depressed guy's birthday party where we're discussing life issues and
welcome to the coffee shop.
We've gone off the deep end, like a 50-year-old birthday.
Like, is there going to be any sports talk at all?
But
Actually,
no sports talk. Really? Okay. We are?
Here's some sports talk, John.
Your love affair with Mark Grody. What's that about? Obviously, you've seen his picture. Is it about his picture? Or is it his personality?
No, it's
draws
his
you in.
Has Grody talked to you about? Has he talked to you about whether it's awkward or not?
No. Oh, well, yeah, no. We've had discussions. You know, not necessarily about you being awkward and wanting to, do things to him, but
no,
outside
I don't.
Of that.